Here's a question I got. How much access to information do you think the director of CIA has?
Anything he's ever want.
Tom, how much access to information do you think the director of CIA has?
Everything, and plus he can make it up.
Let me, don't, by the way, I can tell you, I don't appreciate the fact that CBS and the director of CIA decided to flirt with a conspiracy, because I don't like that they're doing that. But if they want to take responsibility for this, they can. Let me give you an idea what Brennan says. Can you pull up what Brennan once said the following? The head of CIA, the former head of CIA, said the following. He says, we currently have the technology with the potential to alter weather patterns. His words, not my words. He said this. Is this it, Rob? With him saying that?
I believe so.
Okay, so these are his words. Go ahead and play this clip.
Another example is the array of technologies, often referred to collectively as geo-engineering, that potentially could help reverse the warming effects of global climate change. One that has gained my personal attention is stratospheric aerosol injection, or SAI, a method of seeding the stratosphere with particles that can help reflect the sun's heat in much the same way that volcanic eruptions do. An SAI program could limit global temperature increases, reducing some risks associated with higher temperatures and providing the world economy additional time to transition from fossil fuels.
Right.
Wow. This process is also relatively inexpensive. The National Research Council estimates that a fully deployed SAI program would cost about $10 billion yearly. As promising as it may be, moving forward on SAI would also raise a number of challenges for our government and for the international community. On the technical side, greenhouse gas emission reductions would still have to accompany SAI to address other climate change effects, such as ocean acidification, because SAI alone would not remove greenhouse gases from the atmosphere.
Can you move this? I don't know if this is
on the
clip, I'm just trying. Go find a clip. Just type the keywords. Technologies, potential to alter weather pattern. And if you can just go on Google, forget about Twitter. Twitter doesn't work well when we do searches like that. Weather pattern. Yeah, if you can do that, and you will find right there, second one, click on that. I just want to show the clip, the quote, okay? Show the quote that he says. So Brennan's words, if you can type in pattern, Control F pattern, there you go. The technology's potential to alter weather patterns and benefit certain regions of the world at the expense of other regions could trigger sharp opposition by some nations, right? Okay. So I went a little bit deeper with this. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this all about? Then you know what we found out? Do you know there was an act in 1976 called the Weather Modification Act of 1976?
No.
Can you Google that, please?
Jeez.
This is, again, not me. This is the U.S. government came up with something called the National Weather Modification Policy Act of 1976. You know what this is about? This was about if any company is participating to try to alter and modify the weather, you have to give us a warning 10 days in advance. This is what they came up with, by the way, okay?
Oh, man.
It's called the Weather Modification Policy Act of 1976. Let's go even deeper. Can you do me a favor and type in Operation Cirrus 70-year anniversary? Type in Operation 70-year anniversary. Craziest article, by the way. Did you see it or no? This one we have to read because it's a little bit weird, but I just have to read it to you. I found it here, Rob. It's called the 7. And by the way, what is crazy about this is the following. This is by far what's crazy about it the most. Pull up the clip I just sent you. This is from the website of NOAA. This is not a blog, folks. This is from the Department of Commerce, Atlantic Oceanographic and Meteorological Laboratory. Okay? My pronunciation's phenomenal today. 70-year anniversary of the first hurricane seeding experiment. What?
Wait.
Called Operation Project Cirrus. You go a little lower, I'll read the top and I'll go to the bottom paragraph below the chart. On the afternoon of October 13, 1947, an Air Force B-17 aircraft penetrated a hurricane 450 miles east of Jacksonville and dumped several pounds of crushed dry ice into the storm just to see what would happen. This was the first attempt to modify a tropical cyclone by seeding it with freezing nuclei. It was almost the last. Watch this. GE was involved in this, just so you know. Wow. You guys can read the rest of the article. Go down to the bottom right after the chart. Let's read it from right here. The scientists were eager to examine the storm the following day. However, When they flew to the predicted storm location, they had trouble locating the eye. After some hunting around, they found the hurricane center nearly 100 miles west of where they expected it to be. To their astonishment, the hurricane had made a 135-degree left turn and was now moving due west. On top of that, it was strengthening. By the afternoon of the 15th, Hurricane King struck Savannah, Georgia. One person died. In the storm surged $2 million in damages. The public was outraged that the scientists had caused the storm to swerve into Georgia, and threats of lawsuits were thrown around. GE's case was not helped when the head of their laboratories of GE, Dr. Irving Langmuir, issued a statement that he was 99% sure the storm had changed course due to the seeding. The chief of weather, government, this is government now, chief of weather bureau, Dr. Francis, thought differently and appointed 3 of his weathermen to find a case where a hurricane had followed a similar track but had not been seeded. The case was published, demonstrating that hurricanes could swerve like that without the use of dry ice, and the threat of lawsuits eventually evaporated. What's the point here? Imagine you work for GE. You're the head of their laboratory, and they say, no, we did it.
Wow.
GE's like, what is the matter with you? Be quiet. You can't say we did it, right? But the government's chief bureau comes out and says, no, we checked it out. The man didn't influence this. What's my point here? Here's where I'm going with this. 7-year anniversary, go read that article. All I'm saying is this. You mean to tell me we don't have the technology at this point in 2024 with all the inventions that we've created to find a way to kill these things and slow them down? You mean we don't? I'm not even talking about creating it.
Which is on the table as well.
Which we know we can create it.
Course.
CBS host who just was debating, what is her name? Have you seen the CBS
Nora.
clip of Michio Kaku? She said, we've done this.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Right? She said, we've done this. It's not even us. That's the lady who was on the debate with, the what do you call it? I think she was on the VP debate, if I'm not mistaken. This is the interview. Watch this clip.
It's a bad version of it. Just so
Okay, then don't worry about it. Anyways,
TV.
so they're even saying that these things happen in the past. She claimed that these things happen in the past. This is her 11 years ago. Forget about creating it. What I'm asking about is, in 2024, we don't have a way to prevent these things? And if we do, why are we not using them? Why not? Why are we not using some of these things to manipulate them to go a different way? I don't know. It's purely a question. But the more and more and more digging you do on government websites, they tell you, we have access to this. We've been working on this. And even the director of CIA says, we have something like this to work with. Tom.
Well, I think we all misunderstood the guy from GE. The guy from GE was paid to work in a lab to modify the weather, right?
Yes.
At the end of the year, you get your performance review to see if you get a raise or you get a bonus. And so what does he say? It worked. We did it. We partnered with the government. We put a bunch of dry ice in a B-17. We went up there and dropped this all, hyper-cooled the center of the storm. The storm turned. The next day we went out looking for the storm. It was 100 miles over there. We're like, uh-oh, it turned west. But this guy is basically saying we have to understand this. He's saying, I work in a lab for GE on weather modification. It worked. So he wasn't being a whistleblower. He was just saying, well, this is my job, and it worked, and it turned toward there. Whereas now the government is like, no. Project Mockingbird and all these other things and the electric Kool-Aid acid test, we would never do such a thing. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And so the government comes out and goes, no, hang on. Meanwhile, they had already been trying that stuff previously in Vietnam, trying to extend the rainy season. So, and it's like sometimes experiments go bad, Remember the Bikini Atoll?
What's that?
That's where they launched a nuclear bomb and gave a bunch of military guys cancer and things like this.
Yeah, that's why I tell them.
So we've done a lot of tests in our day and kind of messed people up in the process.
And that's why when people, Paolo, you bring this up, and there's people out there, because I've seen it, because I've had these conversations, especially with Brandon. People are like, now you're trying to say, I'm like, yes, I'm talking about that same government that did what you're talking about, that gave LSD to our soldiers, that experiment with mind-altering MK Ultra type stuff. It happens, Pat. Then you have to ask the question, like, what's besides not being able to stop it, them creating it? Because mind you, these are the same people that are saying, hey, this is because of climate change, are actually the ones changing the climate. They're the ones that can do it.
Allegedly. I'm not saying that's the case.
I'm just saying, allegedly
I'm
as well.
not there.
Yeah.
All I'm at is the following. I'm at Harvard. in 2015 at this OPM program I went to, Owner President Management Program. I've never gone to Harvard as a student. My GPA was 1.8. This is not, I went to Harvard.
Yeah.
But when I'm there, one of my classmates, Finney, was from Lagos, Tom. One of my classmates was from Lagos. 8 of us were asked to go up and present a certain project we're working on to raise money.
Yeah.
He was one of them, I was one of them, and 6 other guys went up. This guy got up and he says, I have invented that with a $100 million investment into a plant, I can build and produce water from thin air. And he wasn't kidding. And shows this video, and you say, wow. He says, yeah. And then I'm watching The Room. I'm not in the water making business.
Yeah.
I'm in the insurance business. And I'm like, yeah, that technology's been around. Yeah, that technology. And everybody starts talking. So the concern with water is we have the technology to be able to make it. There are plenty of advanced technologies for us to be able to do a lot of different things. Why are we not testing it and using it? Maybe we are. And if we are and they're not telling us, maybe that's what's also causing something that's 120 miles to go to 185 miles.
Yep.
Maybe they're doing that. We don't know that, right? So these are some of the things that maybe the government doesn't want us to know because they don't want to freak us out. And sometimes some projects, some assignments get,
And remember what happened when in Dubai, like 3 months
flooding.
ago? It was the worst
'Cause they're cloud
rain or
seeding.
drought.
Yeah.
And then when people were basically allegedly saying it was be cloud seeding, I think they were shutting it down. I think some clips, some YouTube stuff, some government intervention. What's wrong with asking questions, I think, is what we're basically saying. I don't know what's
Nothing.
going on here, but there's some evidence that there could be some foul play.
Let me give you guys an update here about election night. So election night, that's coming up November 5th. It's going to be the biggest party in the country, minus the one that Trump and Kamala host together. I have 4 guests that I'm announcing that are now going to be at the election night with us. We're going to have some of the old timers that are coming back. So those guys are going to come back no matter what. They'll be with us while we go live on the podcast from 7 p.m. to 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe even later. It's going to be one of those marathons. And by the way, it's so awesome seeing other people who are business podcasts are now saying, we're going to host a live event as well. No problem. We like to lead people. We're leaders amongst leaders, and it's exciting. But ours will be a kick-ass event that we put together here. Here's who's going to be here with us. You got Brian Callen will be here. You got Sammy Gravano will be here to give his take from a mob's perspective. You got Michael Francis that will be here. You got Dave Smith that will be here and many other names, but I'm going to drop it to you every podcast who else is going to come here. So don't be the person that's waiting till last minute when this thing sells out and then you're saying, but I couldn't get a ticket. By the way, the super VIPs will get a chance to meet all the speakers. Why? Because all the super VIPs will be going there to eat. So watch this video, Rob, put it on 1.25, and then we'll get into all the stories. Here's a new building and where the party will be held at. Go ahead.
I got a big announcement to make. Property I'm on right now. We've been working on buying this property for the last 3 years. It's one of its last kind in America. Why? It's on 11 acres. It's got 2 hangars. It's on an airport. Upgrades of $7 million made here. That's going to be the new headquarters of Valuetainment, Menée, David Consulting, the podcast, the whole 9. And what we wanted to do, we want to find a way to celebrate this as a new headquarters with inviting you to an event on November 5th, which is election night. A lot of different things people will be talking about, business owners. What's going to happen if it goes this way? What's going to happen if it goes that way? So imagine 2,000 people being here. Let me show you around. Some of you will have a private meeting with me. That's the elite. That's going to be a few of you. Some will get a private tour of the entire office from us. There's a hangar in the back. So you come up here. Imagine there's going to be a couple major tents, 40 feet by 100 feet, where some of the people that are buying general tickets will be there. But over here inside the hangar is where the podcast will be held. This entire thing will be open like it is right now. Inside of it, myself, the PBD podcast crew, some of the super VIPs will be invited to go upstairs in a section that we have that's got a bar, a restaurant, food, kitchen. You're eating, you're watching it from all the way up there while we're doing the podcast down here in the hangar. So imagine in this room, there's 1,000 people, right? While we're going through this whole thing. Conversation, it's going to be from 6 p.m. is when it starts. All the way up to 2 o'clock in the morning. Who knows? Maybe we'll go 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because a lot of things that's going to be going on. And by the way, do you know why we're not cutting this? We're on an airport. These are planes. We have to hear because right here is the airport. And FYI, messy place right there at that stadium right behind us. There's 5 ticket tiers that you can purchase. Each one's got more things to offer. But even locally, there's general tickets to buy for just $75. Bring your wife, bring your husband, bring your family, bring your friends. There's one caveat after you buy the ticket. When you buy the ticket and you come on November 5th, you have to wear Future Looks Bright gear. I'm talking Future Looks Bright hat, a shirt. Doesn't matter. You're going to have to show I got some kind of Future Looks Bright gear because we want everybody here to spread the message and the energy of optimism around the world, back to their states, wherever you're going to be. So November 5th, click on the link above or below, get registered. And if you're watching this saying, well, Pat, I like to travel private. Can I bring my private jet here? 5 of you guys will be after you buy your ticket. Then you can ask us, and that's only available to the tickets at the highest level possible to bring your jet and park it here. So having said that, get your tickets, and I cannot wait to see you November 5th, 6 p.m. at our new headquarters in Fort Lauderdale. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye.
I dare you to miss it. No, I'm telling you right now. I dare you. I'm telling you to your face. I dare you to miss it. For 4 years, you're going to say, I will never miss it again. Because the next one we do like this is 4 years from now, like the World Cup, which will be in 2028. I dare you to miss it. For those of you guys that are wise and smart enough to know what's going to happen and the crazy stuff that we're going to be covering, you'll be attending. And we can't wait to have you guys there. We cannot wait to spend the entire night with you, your friends, your family together, all night talking about what's going to happen in 2025 and on. So, Rob, put the link below for people to go get registered. If you're listening to this online, go to 5990live.com, go to events, purchase a ticket, and we'll see you there.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.